there? We're expecting the arrival of President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is expected...
Actually, Brian, I'm told that they've arrived.
Oh, the president has arrived?
The president has arrived, has landed at OTHAYA Boys High School, as well as DP Ruto and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. All of them are in OTHAYA Boys High School. Probably that's where they'll pick up from that particular point, and a clear indication that they're almost getting home.
Yep.
Not so well conversant with the area though, but it's now 10:21, so we would predict that not so long from now they should be there. So the president has arrived at OTHAYA Boys School, together with the DP Ruto also there, and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. So yes, as we said, he is the man to receive the former head of state at that particular event. We'll get the
actually, I'm being told that they're just going through Mokorini town, eh?
That's Mokorini.
Yeah, that's Mokorini town. Yeah. So I don't know, what's the distance from Mokorini to the approved school? Engineer?
It's not far.
It's
Could
like
be 10 kilometers.
10 kilometers.
It's not far.
It's not far.
It's not far. All right. So it's proper to imagine that in the next 15-20 minutes they should be there.
Mokorini and OTHAYA, they are just next to one. They are smaller constituencies, so they are just next to one another.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from Mokorini, the next town is OTHAYA.
From Mokorini.
Yeah.
The next town is OTHAYA.
The next town is OTHAYA town. And how far is the approved school from OTHAYA town?
That one I have no idea. I've not been to approved school, but it must be around there, within the same vicinity.
I think it must be closer to the president's place of birth, Gatuyaini, which is not in OTHAYA town, a little further out.
But we understand the president is not going to be laid to rest at Gatuyaini.
Where's
Is it?
It's in a home next to where the wife was right there. Yes.
What is the name of that small town?
I can't remember. It's Gatuyaini. I can't remember. But it's his home there. That's why you'll be laid to rest. Next to the wife.
Next to the wife.
Yeah, home. The OTHAYA home.
The OTHAYA home. His OTHAYA home.
Yeah, his OTHAYA home.
Right.
Yeah.
You see, the cortege is actually now, approaching closer and closer to the approved school. And of course, now they are in a haste pace because they really want to catch time. And the people on the screen is the cabinet secretary for health, that is Mwai Kibaki, and he also served under the late president tenure. He was the Minister for Information and Communication, and actually when the news broke out of the demise of the president, I had a chat with Mwai Kibaki, and he really talked about how the president was very of much help when Kenya was trying to cut its niche in the ICT world. Of course, with the landing of various submarine cables, and also of course with the rollout of M-Pesa, which is one of his digital legacy project. Of course, I don't know whether you really want to talk about that and how it has spurred economic growth in the region.
I think this is again part of Vision 2030, making Kenyan economy electronically driven, modern age. That is one of his legacies, and I think the best person to speak about this, when we have all heard him talk about it with passion, is Professor Bitangi Ndemo of the University of Nairobi, who was PS then in information communications technology. Konza City, all of those things were riding on under the back of the first undersea cable to come to the country, because the idea was to bring costs down. Apart from, instead of relying on satellites for electronic information delivery, we had the first undersea cable. I think we have gone on to the fourth, the fifth, and so on.
Now we are at the sixth cable.
And that has made us a really important demonstrator in the developing world of how you use electronic technology for information, not just for information like we're doing here, but also for commerce, for buying and selling, and particularly in the financial sector. And you just mentioned M-Pesa, in which we are a global leader. So that again, when you talk about legacy, is those are the things. And he took a very strong personal interest in this, in ensuring that all the obstacles on the way were removed. And I think we owe to him the fact that we went as far as we did then. I think we must revisit areas in which we're lagging behind. I think Kansas City, the international partners who are supposed to come with us, the government of Korea, they're in there, foothold in a big way, but also international players from the United States, the big brands
Like
Google, Hewlett-Packard, all of them. IBM, FedEx, who had expressed interest in an airport there. All of these players should be brought on board now, just like we had intended, if his legacy is to be continued. I know there were a few problems. For example, National Land Commission, as the minister was saying, land is always a problem to get projects started in our country. And it makes our projects in Kenya more expensive because landholders always hold out for money, and it takes time. Regardless of all that, we know what the problems are. Let's go out and solve them. Yeah.
Very well, and I think it's also highly appreciative to note that, since the body or the cortege left the Lee Funeral Home, it's very interesting to note that we haven't seen this procession, going through a road that is not would not be said to be not in good shape.
Yeah.
Because the only stretch that we can talk about is the Kenol to Marwa,
which is under construction. Yeah.
When you look at the roads, which is definitely a legacy of Mwai Kibaki, engineer.
Yeah, they were not there. And
just a minute, that is Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, the governor for Kisumu, and the former Minister for Trade, Mohisa Kitui, who went on to become the United Nations Conference
Trade and Development, Geneva.
UNCTAD, Secretary General. That was quite a high position. That is also Senator Samuel Pogisio, who was also Minister for ICT during Kibaki's time. Actually, a lot of people there, coming to Mona. That is also Amos Kimunya, who was the Minister for Finance then. And also next to him is Speaker of the National Assembly, Justin Muturi. All at the OTHAYA approved school, waiting for the arrival of the cortege so that they can bid farewell to a man they have known and they have admired and they have worked with for quite a long time. We're talking about the roads, and I look at that, quite a beautiful landscape there, very green, and the road is absolutely stunning. This is very, very good. Do you want to say something about that?
Yes, because you have pointed out about the road, you can see the quality of the construction of that road. One thing that President Kibaki was very particular about is getting value for money and getting, previously you would get a road which has been tarmacked and within 1 year there is no road. And he said he does not want that nonsense anymore. And also the cost of construction, when 2003, when Kibaki took over, that time, because of the corruption issues, and it's good to talk about corruption where it existed, we found that the construction per kilometer of the road was about 60 million per kilometer. So we brought it down to about 30 million per kilometer.
30.
And 30 million
so you
per
brought
kilometer.
It down by half.
By half. And also good road. Well designed and supervised, because supervision never used to be there. So by bringing the cost of construction per kilometer to 30, we were able to do more roads. And that is where we started. Our first budget, because you inherited a budget which was there 202, 203. The roads budget was below, the entire road was below 20 billion. 20
billion shillings.
Yes. So when we put every cost-effective measure in place, me and Laila.
And this was inclusive of the recurrent expenditure?
Yeah.
Wow.
So when we put all those measures in place, we were able to kickstart the construction. So the 203, 204 budget was doubled. And we exhausted that budget, and we had to have supplementary.
Yeah.
Kibaki handed us more money. The only thing that he was very clear about, never give out work, and don't tender if you do not have money budgeted for that particular year and that particular road.
That is what we call prudential financial management.
Yes, so you wanted Kibaki to be on wrong footing with him, go against that.
Yeah.
Was asked, where are you going to get money to do that road or to do that project? So he was very particular about that. The other issue I like the viewers to understand what Kibaki wanted us to do. He told us to look into why contractors are not being paid. Even when there is money, we want contracts to be paid and paid quickly so that they can go and do more work.
Yeah.
So when in 203, I called a meeting. Laila told me, can you look into this issue, because the president wants to know why contractors are not being paid quickly. So when I called a meeting, and I said I wanted all those people who signed certificates, I want them in my boardroom. Everybody who approves payment of a certificate for a contractor. So I was surprised. 28 signatures were required to pay a certificate.
Oh,
so contractors would employ permanently people to be chasing those certificates. So in the boardroom, I asked somebody, after the resident engineer has approved, and it has come to the project manager to look into whether there is any material paid on, advance payment, whatever. Where does it go from there? So you find somebody say it comes to procurement. As procurement, you're involved in tender and valuation. What is it coming to do? No answer. They go to internal audit 3 times. What are you doing? So 28. So we reduced them to 6. 6 signatures.
From 28.
From 28 to 6.
So you eliminated a total of 22
signatures. So once the certificate is submitted to headquarters, then 6 signatures. And then the contractors never come to chase payment here. Wait for your money. And you were able now to do that, and contractors were able to finish their work. And the other thing that we implemented was no contractor will get 2 projects. When you get the second project, you have to be about 80% complete. So we were able to spread the work to as many contractors as possible. So there was no rush for contractors to come and get three projects, 2 projects, which they will never even implement. So that way, that's how we were able to move very fast, even in the housing sector. And also the public works. We talk roads, now public works, and even the housing sector.
Yep.
The same was implemented. And that is basically what Kibaki was looking into all his ministers. Work without supervision from me. But he would know whatever was happening everywhere. The other point that I would like viewers to know, for the 5 years I was the assistant minister, another 6 years when I was in Kenya, let's say when I was assistant minister, there is no one day that I got a contractor coming to my office saying that I have been sent by Kibaki to be given this work.
It's never happened.
Never. I have never gone to Kibaki's state house and Kibaki would be having a contractor saying, can you go and help this contractor? Or Kibaki would call and say, I'm sending a contractor to you. Never, not even once.
That is the man you're talking about.
So, contractors never used to go to state house to get work. They would come and tender professionally. They would be given and supervised professionally and paid.
And paid.
So that is Kibaki. Never. even my minister, even Raila or Nyashai, when he came, there is no time that any of them said, we have instructions from State House that we do this. So the busy bodies that are characteristic of State House that we are being sent by the President, blah, blah, those busy bodies were not there.
And the so-called hangers-on.
And hangers-on, they were never there.
I want to hear from
I think you can confirm that.
I just want to confirm that. I also want you to tell me things. Because how did we end up with unpaid bills to contractors now of more than 330 billion shillings? And Uhuru Kenyatta, the current president, has been very tough, to ministries, telling them, please pay contractors for the work that they have done. How comes we never used to have that during
the short answer to that, O'Brien, is this. Just as President Kibaki was keen on projects being completed and money being spent, he was also as keen to make sure the tax money comes in. You just said that President Kibaki never called you about a delayed road and a delayed payment. The same thing we heard from Mr. Michael Waweru when he was at the Kenya Revenue Authority. You read his book, the Kenya's Tax Czar, and he was told when he took over that there's this phone which links you straight to State House. If it calls, pick it up. He says, from the day he got in there to the time he left, it never rang. Yesterday, or I think the day before, Willie Mutunga, the former Chief Justice, Dr. Willie Mutunga, was saying he never got a call throughout his tenure from President Kibaki calling him about a case. And he had said the same thing, incidentally, when he quit his tenure as Chief Justice. So you're hearing now again from a third time. The important thing is here was delegation, but also integrity. Once I give you the promise that there will be no interference on behalf of my friends, it won't happen. We have a serious problem right now on the fiscal side of macroeconomic management in our country because the tax side was hemorrhaging for a long time, not bringing in as much revenue as is consistent with the way the economy is growing. Because if the economy grows, tax revenue ought to grow at the back of it. It's called tax buoyancy by those who study those issues like that. That's one thing. The World Bank the other day was saying as much as 5% of GDP that should have come in as taxes is not there. There are reasons for it. You exempt some goods, you allow us to come in, or whatever reasons there are, and the people with care who can give you a good lesson on that, and that will be one of the answers to this. The other issues
of 5% of our GDP, which is almost 12 trillion Kenya shillings.
This is why the IMF here, and we are on an IMF program now, are insisting on tightening on tax collection and on the fiscal side and targets. Luckily, they're going up again. But we've had that history now for some past, and we're going to see. And Kenyans realize it's going to hurt, because once the IMF is coming here with conditions like that, you will see the effect of that on your daily bill when you go shopping, all of the above.
And also something else, that you have put, and first of all, on your screen, that is Kenya Kwanza members, that is weekly,
that is Senator,
that is Senator Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi, who was the Minister for Finance during Kibaki's tenure. During Mwai's tenure. He was a Deputy Prime Minister during Kibaki's tenure. During the government of the coalition government.
So, that's right.
Yes, he was the Deputy Prime Minister, and together with Uhuru Kenyatta, who was then the Minister for Finance. And Musalia Mudavadi was also the Minister for Local Government.
Local government?
Yes.
He was in local government.
Which became devolution.
Local government.
Exactly.
So, I still wanted, still on that issue that you have brought about...
I think, Brian, we perhaps just a matter of an update. I think in a few minutes from now, with the arrival of such kind of guests, we now expect that the body will be there in a few. And then now that the president is also in the vicinity at OTHAYA Boys, He will be the person to receive the body, of course. Still remember that this is a military event, and we expect members of the military to take charge of the entire session, drawn from the Kenya Army, the Kenya Navy, and the Kenya Air Force, all in the rank of colonels, led by brigadier, taking charge of that particular event. At the graveside, the flag will be handed over to the family, and a 19-gun salute will be administered in honor of the late President, the late President Mwai Kibaki. Of course, 21-gun salute is only given to heads of state who die while in power, and that is according to the rule. And so far in the history of our nation, only a few people have been accorded state burial or funeral to speak. We have got founding president, that is President Jomo Kenyatta, who was accorded the state funeral, and of course he was also given 19-gun salute. We have got Kijana Wamalwa, the former vice president. We have Nobel Peace Laureate, that is Wangari Maathai, who was also given a state funeral under the proclamation from the president. We have got former Nyeri governor Wahome Gakuo, who also died while in office, was also accorded a state funeral, and former First Lady Lucy Kibaki was also given a state burial, and now we have got former President Mwai Kibaki. And of course, the president can decide under his discretion who to give state burial, depending on his stature in the society, or as he so wishes, according to the presidential proclamation. So it's the situation we have. But some people say that now it's so sad that we don't have any living president in Kenya. But nonetheless, Prof, we must be thankful as a nation that we've gone through the process, and a majority of people alive today have seen the hands of 3 presidents until the 4th one today, Prof.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If you look at our neighbors,
yes,
we realize we've a lot to thank God for, that younger generations are now getting accustomed to making a transition from one presidency to the next, peacefully, more or less. And this is very unusual in our part of the world. Kenyans should look at their blessings. I know we look at what is going wrong, and we should.
Yeah.
But as you're saying, this is one of the things that we consider an essential part of our heritage. And by the way, that speaks to the tolerance of Kenyans. A lot of people here say they envy Tanzania, and they are right to say so. But look at us. In terms of transition, there may be arguments, there may be competition, but at the end of the day, when all that is done, and the process has worked its way,
yes,
and the laws have worked their way, there's a good and smooth transition. And that's why you can talk about, yes, there's no living president now, but we know that when the tenure comes, there's going to be a succession, and there's going to be another government. And
you sat in the President Mwai Kibaki's cabinet. Simply, what would current crop of leaders learn from you and President Mwai Kibaki's style of leadership generally?
Unfortunately, the leaders we have today, they do not want to run from us. They do not even care. They don't even care to know about Kibaki, how he ran his government. Because when you hear the leadership today addressing Wananchi and saying we do not want to know history. We don't want history.
Yes.
We want now. Now, if you do not want to know
just a minute, engineer, I think it is very important to point out that now the CORTEGE is in OTHAYA town. This is OTHAYA town. They have just passed Monaine Primary School, which is about 3 kilometers from OTHAYA town. And the significance of Monaine Primary School is where President Kibaki used to cast his vote. So that is his local school. Polling station. As you can see, people in OTHAYA, lining up to say kwaheri to their son, and that is the fact now that the CORTEGE is just a few minutes from the final destination. That is the approved school.
This is quite close to their heart because this is the longest-serving member of parliament. They could easily talk about them. They know,
And actually, the other fact is that, President Kibaki goes into history as one of the longest-serving members of parliament from 1961. 63
Yeah.
to 2050 years. 50 years as a member of parliament.
That's a record. I don't think, because Kenyan voters vote leaders out. They don't. I don't know who is going, any leader who is going to stay in power for 50 years.
Moi did how many?
Moi is probably longer, because he was went in 55, and he was in parliament right through to when he became president in 78.
In 78,
Yeah.
and he left presidency in 2002.
Yeah.
So when you do
It's
the
about the
math,
same, huh? About the same.
so almost the same.
That's a long
actually,
time. That's a long time. But when you look
But
at
they accrue one another.
exactly. But if you look at the track record and what they did to the society, to the country,
Yeah.
it would easily say that, okay, fine, they were okay to be in parliament for all that while. Understand? Yeah.
Yeah, so exactly.
Because somebody would say that probably we wish we had a longer period with President Mwai Kibaki. When you look at the issue of economy, we would have been somewhere else. But yeah, we don't complain so far, so forth.
So what I was saying about the leadership, when you find the leaders saying they do not want to know history, now history talks about good things
Yes.
and bad things.
Yeah.
So that you stop doing the bad things, you emulate the good things. So if people do not want to hear why Kibaki was the good president, so that they can be able to borrow a leaf from his style of politics, then it means now you are grubbing in the dark. You do not even know where you are going, because education never ends.
Yeah.
And that's why you are always continuously being educated, so that you can be able to be reminded
Yes.
where you can go wrong and where you can go right. And also, you are told what you want to do was tried sometimes, it never worked.
Yes.
So let us try it another way. We cannot continue reinventing the wheel, because when you reinvent the wheel, you never make progress. So that's the unfortunate status we have now of the new readers who do not want to hear anything. And me, as with all the knowledge I have and everything,
Yeah.
I need to impact that to the younger generation and to other readers.
Yes. If you can take a look, we have the Humvees already. Chances are that the CORTEGE probably now will be handed over to the military as we speak, because the Humvees, we saw the Humvees took the body yesterday from State House to Nyayo Stadium. And here we have the military already lined up.
Actually, they have arrived.
They've arrived.
At the approved school.
So we have the military already aligned. There you have it. The gun carriage
it will be put on the gun
reversing to
carrier.
receive the body there at the junction. We have the military already lining up. The colonels. From this particular point until the end of the session, now it's a military affair. They hand over to the military, and up to this point, we are going to see a change of program and how the protocol is going to be moved from this particular point until the end of the time. It's actually 10 minutes to 11.
To 11, yeah.
And we can now say that Mzee is safely home. Mzee is home now.
Exactly. The body or the cortege is actually outside the approved schools.
Right.
And for the journey that started at 7 in the morning, sharp. So it has taken them about how many hours?
4 hours.
4 hours and 50 minutes.
Almost 5 hours.
That's almost 5 hours.
But as you said, it was a plus or minus because of the stops.
4 hours.
Probably they would have done even shorter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, but when you look at the program, I mean, it was expected that they will be here at 10.
At 10. Yes.
They're just 50 minutes behind schedule. I think they will have to do
construction,
something to
the
try
diversions.
and catch up on time.
Still okay.
Yeah, it's still
So
okay.
the gun
but,
carriage, if you look at the gun carriage itself, it has got 2 flags. The white one is the presidential standard for President Mwai Kibaki, which he used during his time in office, and then
The Kenyan flag.
the gun carriage, of course, now will take the body to to the venue and signaling that it's now a military event, exclusive military event.
Look at
the parade.
The military parade. It's a combination of the Kenya Navy, the Kenya Army, and the Air Force. Yeah, the three arms of the Kenya Defense Forces.
Actually, they say that it's a full parade, consisting of 96 members of the service, led by brigadier there. So
96, you said?
Yes.
What is the significance of 96 instead of 1,000 or 20?
For them,
do you have any idea?
96 should be the full parade. And if you have a quarter parade like the one we saw at Leaf in Europe, that's a quarter parade. This is a full parade signaling a high-ranking member of the state. For example, now this is the final parade that he's getting. He's getting a full parade equivalent to his stature. He is a former commander-in-chief, and therefore you're getting that full parade consisting of the Kenya Army, the Kenya Navy, and the Kenya Air Force. So it's quite significant, and of course even the 19-gun salute. For so many people, it will be the first time to get the sound of the guns,
especially in this town.
In this town, you can imagine it's been a peaceful area.
Never seen things. I hope they're prepared.
Now, there is something that I noticed yesterday, and I don't know whether you noticed. President Kenyatta, from State House all the way to Nyayo Stadium, his vehicle never carried any flag. It was just
no.
Yeah?
Yes.
The significance that you cannot have two flags
flying at the same time.
At the same time.
Because according to what they say, it's not President Uhuru Kenyatta's moment.
Yeah.
It is the late president's moment.
So with his flags.
His flag. So that's why we have got two flags. We have the other flags flying at half-mast.
Yes.
Well, the president is still there. The regime is still active, but it's not President Uhuru Kenyatta's time to shine.
So the two flags cannot fly at the same time.
At the same time. The same territory.
Would we expect to see the same here?
I think so. Even if we look at the president's vehicle when they go into the venue, it will not be having flags.
It was
just like in church.
Right.
If you have got many bishops, there is only one bishop who will have the
mace.
The mace. No other mace will be there. Yeah. And even yesterday, you noticed yesterday, it's only one mace which was there.
Right.
Is it the senior most or
not? Whatever it is, once you say this is the one who is going to have the mace, every other bishop will not bring the mace, and they all have the mace.
So that you don't end up with a situation whereby you have 15.
Yeah, that is now for that ceremony. You are the one.
Oh, okay.
So your mace is the one that is going to. Yes.
So I'm also imagining it's the same because I've seen a number of cabinet secretaries here.
Yeah, they are no flags.
Their cars, you will not expect them to have flags.
But that one was a directive by the president. He said no cabinet minister, no person will fly a flag, even ambassadors, until Kibaki is buried. So that was one of the points. No flags.
It's no time for show of might.
Yes.
There's a Nyeri member of parliament.
Right.
He has also arrived at the venue. Yes, and the CS for Interior and Coordination of National Government, that is Dr. Fred Matiang'i, is already there with the CS for Agriculture, Peter Munya. They are both saying hi to Bishop Moheria there. And as I can see there, the president's team is also there making way and ensuring that, all the loose ends, are tied as they wait for the arrival of the body of the late president. What you are seeing there is at the OTHAYA approved school. The casket is already here. The last time we checked, it was being shipped from the house to the, you're calling it the gun carriage?
Gun carriage, yes.
The gun carriage. And I was just asking myself, this would be the same gun carriage that we saw yesterday? So probably, maybe it left earlier than the house or something?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank
So far, the casket is already on the gun carriage, and perhaps if you have those pictures, there you have it. It's now the marching on, the slow march with the gun carriage, and the formation. Formation is the same. Let's take a listen on what's happening there. First of all, national anthem.
Jeshi mkuu wa majeshi ya ulinzi, na kama tulivyoombwa hapo awali na mwenzangu kwa mchango, tutakuwa tunasimama kwa ajili ya heshima ya wimbo wa taifa na wimbo wa Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki. Tuendelee kupata muziki.
Unaweza nichukue saizi.
kwa ibada ya misa.
Asanteni sana kwa heshima, naomba tuweze kuketi na nipishe kwaya zetu ili ziendelee kutupa muziki, ikiwa ni matayarisho ya ibada yetu ya misa ya siku ya leo, nikiwakaribisha wote ambao wametoka pembe mbalimbali za Jamhuri yetu ya Kenya, wote ambao tuko nao hapa na wale wanaoungana nasi kupitia mitandao mbalimbali ya kijamii. Kwaya, tuendelee tafadhali. Uwanjani State House Choir.
Is that the process? As you can see from your screen, President Uhuru Kenyatta is finally arriving at the Nyeri-approved school where the body of the late President Mwai Kibaki has just arrived. But now on the screen you can see the wife of the former Prime Minister during Kibaki's tenure, that is Raila Odinga, Ida Odinga, together with her husband Raila Odinga, also making their way into the venue. Already the body has arrived. It is inside the dome, which means that the military or the official event is almost starting now. As you can see, that's a body that is draped with our national flag. You know, at any moment now we should be handing you over to the Nyeri approved school for the team that is there to take over so that they can guide us, because that is where actually the event is. But before we do so, I think I would want to give a minute each to the team that we have been having here. Professor Mwai Kibaki, a former advisor to the late President Mwai Kibaki, and that's inside on your screen, that is Raila Odinga paying his tribute or his last respect to the departed president. And of course, as I was saying, final remarks from Professor Mwai Kibaki and Joshua Toro, engineer, before now we hand over to the approved school. Yes, and I'll start with Michael.
Thank you, Brian. We say goodbye to a great Kenyan, to a great African, to a great statesman of the world, to a great leader of thought. I never stopped learning from President Kibaki, though I never sat in his class. He left us a great legacy, a great brain, great ideas of development, and how we should hold together as Kenyans.
Very well.
Please let us never forget that.
Exactly. And as you can see on your screen now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has just arrived.
Asanteni sana kwa heshima na unyenyekevu, naomba sote tuweze kuketi. Nikirejesha kwa kwaya yetu ya Ikulu, the State House Choir, watatupa wimbo Kama Maua ambao niliukata ukiwa katikati. State House Choir, Kama Maua.
us when loved ones cross that sea that we will all is the name that will forever be there. We never say goodbye. We never say
Anajiunga nasi Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta na Mama Taifa katika ibada yetu ya misa. Asanteni, naomba tuketi. Nitaomba sote sasa kwa heshima tuweze kusimama ili tuweze kuanza ibada yetu ya misa, na nitampisha Father Michael Morigo ambaye atatuongoza kama commentator. Karibu Father Morigo.
Nawakaribisha nyote katika ibada takatifu ya misa. Tunaelekea kuanza, and I humbly request that we prepare our minds and hearts to enter into the mood of prayer, avoiding all kinds of distractions, so that we may offer this holy sacrifice worthily as we offer our prayer for our own good, and as well as we pray for the soul of our Baba, Rais Mwai Kibaki. Kwaya, wimbo wa kwanza.
Yeah.
Kwa jina la Baba na la Mwana na la Roho Mtakatifu.
Amina.
Neema ya Bwana wetu Yesu Kristo na upendo wa Mungu Baba na ushirika wa Roho Mtakatifu viwe nanyi nyote. Ndugu na dada wapendwa, Mheshimiwa Rais wetu, First Lady, Deputy President, Right Honorable Raila, wageni wote waliofika hapa, viongozi wote, ndugu na dada Mkenya, tunaomboleza baba yetu Rais Mwai Kibaki. Tunawaalika leo katika sherehe ya kumpa burudani, ya kumwombea, kumpa heshima tosha kwa njia ya maombi yetu. Tumo hapa wengi viongozi wa madhehebu na dini mbalimbali waliomo kulia kwangu kwa altari. Wamo wengi kati ya umati uliomo katika chumba hiki. Tuomba basi tuunganike nyoyoni, tuinue roho zetu kwa kumwombea huyu baba na kumpa heshima yake kama inavyostahili. Tutafanya hivyo kwa kutoa ibada ya misa kwa njia ya maombi ya marehemu, Requiem Mass. We therefore welcome you all to today's liturgy and prayer. It is not only what we will do here according to the wish of our beloved founder, father of this region of OTHAYA in many ways, but also a great statesman and father to the nation. We will do so each one according to our own faith, but we'll do so all of us with faith. Today, this is an encounter of faith. Allow me to express once more the desire of the family of our President Mwai Kibaki that he be sent off in the same way he lived, with a simplicity and at the same time without any political spirit, that we will not have kindly the speeches, but rather we will make our tributes as a nation and a people of God. My brother, my sister, all of us here, let us hold our hearts, hold our dear beloved president in our prayers, show our great respect for him, and give respect to our dear nation. We will now go to bless the body in memory of his baptism, and also knowing it as sacred temple of God according to the rite of the Catholic Church. Lord, have mercy. Christ, have mercy. Lord, have mercy.
Lord.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses. And we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. From the gates of hell, deliver his soul, O Lord. May he rest in peace. May he rest in peace. Lord, hear my prayer, and let my cry come to you. The Lord be with you. In the waters of baptism, our dear President Mwai Kibaki died with Christ and rose with him to new life. May he now share with him eternal glory. God of loving kindness, listen favorably to our prayers. Strengthen our belief that your Son has risen from the dead, and our hope that your servant, President Mwai Kibaki, will also rise again. We ask this through our Lord Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns with you and the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever. Tuombe. Ee Bwana, tunakuomba usikilize kwa wema sala zetu, ili kama vile imani yetu katika mwanao mfufuka kutoka wafu inavyoimarishwa, vivyo hivyo tumaini letu la kutazamia ufufuko wa mtumishi wako Rais Mwai Kibaki vithibitishwe kwa njia ya Bwana wetu Yesu Kristo mwanao, anaishi na kutawala nawe katika umoja wa Roho Mtakatifu, Mungu daima na milele.
Tafadhali tuketi. Tukiwa bado tungali tumeketi na kutulia, ni wakati wa kulisikiliza neno lake Mwenyezi Mungu.
Somo katika kitabu cha hekima ya Sulemani. Roho za wenye haki zi mkononi mwa Mungu, wala mateso yoyote hayatawagusa. Machoni pa wapumbavu walionekana kama wamekufa, na kutoka kwao kulihesabiwa kuwa msiba, na kuondoka kwao toka kwetu kuwa uharibifu. Lakini wao wako katika amani. Na hata kama kwa mtazamo wa watu wanaonekana kuadhibiwa, tumaini lao limejaa kutokufa. Kwa kuadhibiwa kidogo, watafanyiwa mema makubwa. Kwani Mungu aliwajaribu akawakuta kwamba wanamstahili yeye. Aliwatathmini kama dhahabu katika tanuri, na kama sadaka ya kuteketezwa aliwapokea. Na wakati wa kujiliwa kwao watang'aa, na wataruka huku na huko kama cheche wenye nyasi. Watawahukumu mataifa na kuwatawala watu, naye Bwana atakuwa mfalme wao hata milele. Wenye kumtumaini Mungu watafahamu ukweli, nao waaminio katika upendo watakaa naye. Kwani neema na rehema ni kwa watakatifu wake. Neno la Bwana.
Zaburi ya kuitikia. Itikio. Bwana ndiye mchungaji wangu, sitapungukiwa na kitu. Bwana ndiye mchungaji wangu, sitapungukiwa.
Somo katika barua ya pili ya Mtume Paulo kwa Timotheo. Mkumbuke Yesu Kristo aliyefufuliwa kutoka wafu, aliyekuwa wa ukoo wa Daudi, kama isemavyo habari njema ninayoihubiri. Kwa sababu ya kuihubiri habari njema, mimi nateseka na nimefungwa minyororo kama mhalifu. Lakini neno la Mungu haliwezi kufungwa minyororo. Na hivyo navumilia kila kitu kwa ajili ya wateule wa Mungu, ili wao pia wapate ukombozi upatikanao kwa njia ya Yesu Kristo, na ambao huleta utukufu wa milele. Usemi huu ni kweli: ikiwa tulikufa pamoja naye, tutaishi pamoja naye. Tukiendelea kuvumilia, tutatawala pia pamoja naye. Tukimkana, naye pia atatukana. Tukikosa kuwa waaminifu, yeye hubaki mwaminifu daima, maana yeye hawezi kujikana mwenyewe. Neno la Bwana.
Naomba tuweze kusimama kwa somo la Injili.
mmebarikiwa na Baba yangu. Asema Bwana, pokeeni ufalme mliotayarishiwa tangu kuumbwa kwa ulimwengu.
Wakati mwana wa mtu anapokuja katika utukufu wake na malaika wote wakiwa pamoja naye, hapo ataketi juu ya kiti chake cha enzi kitukufu, na mataifa yote yatakusanyika mbele yake. Naye atawateganisha watu kama mchungaji anavyoteganisha kondoo na mbuzi. Atawaweka kondoo upande wake wa kulia na mbuzi upande wake wa kushoto. Kisha mfalme atawaambia wale walio upande wake wa kulia, njooni enyi mliobarikiwa na Baba yangu, pokeeni ufalme mliotayarishiwa tangu kuumbwa kwa ulimwengu. Maana nilikuwa na njaa nanyi mkanipa chakula, nilikuwa na kiu nanyi mkanipa maji, nilikuwa mgeni nanyi mkanikaribisha, nilikuwa uchi mkanivika, nilikuwa mgonjwa nanyi mkaja kunitazama, nilikuwa gerezani nanyi mkaja kunitembelea. Hapo hao watu wema watamjibu mfalme, Bwana, ni lini tulikuona mwenye njaa nasi tukakupa chakula, au ukiwa na kiu nasi tukakunywesha maji? Ni lini tulikuona ukiwa mgeni nasi tukakukaribisha, au bila nguo nasi tukakuvika? Ni lini tulikuona ukiwa mgonjwa na mfungwa nasi tukaja kukutazama? Mfalme atawajibu, kweli nawaambieni, kila kitu mlichotendea mmoja wa hawa ndugu zangu wadogo, mlinitendea mimi. Kisha atawaambia wale walio upande wake wa kushoto, ondokeni mbele yangu enyi mlilaaniwa, nendeni katika moto wa milele uliotayarishiwa Ibilisi na malaika wake. Maana nilikuwa na njaa nanyi hamkunipa chakula, nilikuwa na kiu nanyi hamkunipa maji, nilikuwa mgeni nanyi hamkunikaribisha, nilikuwa mgonjwa na mfungwa nanyi hamkuja kunitazama. Hapo nao watajibu, Bwana, ni lini tulikuona ukiwa na njaa au kiu, ukiwa mgeni au bila nguo, ukiwa mgonjwa au mfungwa, nasi hatukuja kukuhudumia? Naye atawajibu, nawaambieni kweli, ila mlipokataa kutendea mambo haya mwapo wa hawa wandogo, mlikataa kunitendea mimi. Basi hawa watakwenda kwenye adhabu ya milele, lakini wale waadilifu watakwenda kwenye uzima wa milele.
Injili ya Bwana.
Tafadhali tuketi. Sasa basi, baada ya kulisikiliza neno lake Mwenyezi Mungu, sasa tutasikiliza mawaidha kutoka kwa homilia yake Baba Askofu.